Oh yeah, lore corner.
Do it, Josh. Give it to us.
Lore corner for 2020. Who'd you bake that for? Zavala?
Wait, did you just say lore corner 420?
No, the last lore corner for 2020.
Oh, sorry. I got a whole different idea with what we were.
I don't know what you're baking over there, nerd generalist. Okay.
I was baking cookies.
So the one that we were going to talk about tonight, we did the first half of this lore book a couple weeks ago. I'm not going to go into an excruciating detail. Everyone can read it for themselves as they unlock their stasis fragments. But it's called The Dark Future, and you unlock a piece every time you get an aspect or a fragment from Elsie. And we're going to skip right to the end of this. This is talking about Elsie's future, the future that she is trying to prevent. Her and Ana kind of go on a quest to try and reunite what's left of the Vanguard, because in this timeline, Eris was the true Witch Queen. Eris was Savathun, essentially. And she betrayed the Vanguard. She killed Ikora. Mara Sov is in hiding. Zavala lives in the ruins of the Almighty behind the tower. He's crippled. He's walking around on crutches, things like that. Drifter has literally been disembodied. He's been completely destroyed. People's ghosts have been killed. Over the course of this lore book, they seek to get Mara to join their cause. And they use the Leviathan to chain the Traveler that fled and drag it back to Earth. And in that, they assemble an entire army of Vex and Cabal and Fallen and everything to try and take down Eris. Ana falls essentially to the dark side, and Elsie kills her sister. They describe it in a very excruciating fashion. She drives a knife into her sister's side, and that's what makes her resolve, like, I have to end this. And Eris is like, you haven't even begun to know pain essentially. Like, I'm going to destroy you and rip you limb from limb. And at the same time she says that, Elsie goes, well, I think you've got bigger problems than that. And the Traveler awakens again. It starts glowing just like we saw it before Beyond Light. And she goes, I want to read exactly what it says. And it says, the darkness energy Eris manipulates canvases the landscape and makes its way to the sky. I see the Traveler getting brighter as the darkness encapsulates it. I race towards Eris, but I'm too late. In an enchanting explosion, the Traveler's light enshrouds all in totality. Then darkness. Then I'm awake. I see a tower. The tower. I'm in the last city, and it's thriving, bustling with life, children laughing. There's a small parade. I fight through the crowd to find Cade 6 at the center of it. I think I finally got him this time, he shouts as a beardless Zavala greets him. Tanix has been dead before, Zavala says. From behind him emerges Ikora like a vision. Let the new Hunter Vanguard bask. He's earned it. I'm so sick of this scene, of hearing these words every day ever since the day I killed my sister. That was the first time. Now I've lost count. No matter what I do, it always ends the same. Blood and betrayal. Then I'm back where I started, right here. I'm being taunted, punished, forced to relive the loop. There has to be a way out, and I will find it. So essentially, Elsie is saying the Traveler's will is for her to keep going back in time until she finds the crux point, which we are told earlier in the book was our guardian. The Guardian, the young wolf, fell to the darkness and helped Aramis lead an assault on the tower at the same time that Eris and Savathun did. So by us accepting the darkness as we did, like, instead of trying to keep us from it, Elsie guides us to it instead. This is a future where she hasn't done that before in any of her futures. We've discovered it on our own. Instead, her, Eris, and Drifter guide us to it. And we're on an uncharted path. She tells us in her dialogue to us, she's still terrified that future is going to come to pass. But she feels confident for the first time. She feels hope that it won't happen. So I guess I wanted to end the year on that, on one of the bleakest lore chapters that is in canon. It's not like Callus's little fanfic visions he has of strangling the life out of us at the end of time. This is instead something this is the Traveler's will. It wants Elsie to keep going back in time, and maybe the Traveler isn't as dumb as we thought. Maybe it's not here to flee again. it's here to keep doing this until Elsie guides us down the right path. But this is her cosmic purpose in this story. Years after saying she has no time to explain, she has all the time in the world to explain. And I just think it's a really beautiful passage ultimately. So everybody go read the lore book. We're not going to read the other 4 chapters of this that we haven't covered before. It's some weird stuff though, dealing with all our favorite NPCs. It's interesting. And it raises for me a lot of questions about what happens in this franchise going forward. Time travel we thought was a one-off thing with the sundial, but now we find out the Traveler can beam you back in time if it deems you worthy, essentially. Could we experience some of, Warlord Shax's stories? Iron Lord Saladin? How cool would that be to embody somebody else for a strike or something? Go back in time. I don't know.
I think it... I don't want to go on too long, but I think it gives a great segue for Bungie to tell these stories through other mediums. Mm-hmm. I think we've had comics before. We've had short cutscenes
become essential reading too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Do more of these things. Mm-hmm. Tell us these stories. Show us what happened in Elsie's timeline.
Maybe a short film.
It'd be really cool. It'd be really cool is if they made a ODST style first person shooter style game, maybe $20 kind of side games where you play through a 3 or 4 hour campaign, or Battle of the Six Fronts, or you know what I mean, some of these bigger battles that you hear about, or maybe you play as Eris's fire team and when you go see they all get destroyed by Crota, or you know what I mean,
Dead by Daylight Destiny.
I mean,
Crota's den.
I mean, I think those types of things would be really cool.
Yeah.
They've done it. They did it with Halo. I don't see why they can't do it.
Experience where Crota is chasing me.
Oh, I don't know if I want that.
We've seen live action videos and commercials from Destiny. There's a lot more they could do with that.
Short film that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Give me more of this stuff. Once again, back to what I was saying earlier, they've done a great job of really bringing the story to the forefront. This is a perfect opportunity. I think, Josh, this was a great lore piece to present because I think it's one of the best sort of angles, one of the best points from the story from Beyond Light. I love it. Give me more. Just give me more, man. I'll buy it. I'll pay for it.
I want to give everybody one final thing to think about because, Corey, I know you're going to finish Hawkmoon up over the Christmas break. And this relates to the Hawkmoon quest and the dialogue you get with Crow in it. And how he basically is leading you to Hawkmoon based on visions that he's gotten from the Traveler. We know of only 2 other Guardians who have ever been actually spoken to by the Traveler. And that's... we believe Ikora is one of them, and we're the other one. Crow is the 3rd one, which is very interesting when you think about his placement in this story following the murder of Cade 6, him being corrupted by Riven and Savathun into, freeing them and starting the Curse in the Dreaming City. We haven't had a proper speaker since the Red War campaign.
I read about this, yes.
Mm-hmm.
What if, and this is a thought I want to leave, I don't want to do any sort of speculation until we come back from the Christmas break. What if the Crow, what if his ultimate purpose is to become the new speaker? The real speaker. Because the speaker that we had said he goes, I never said the Traveler spoke to me, only that I spoke for it.
He was a fraud.
He was a fraud. So what happens next?
What happens next?
And
we leave our fans on that note, and we come back in the new year, and we discuss it.
Yep.
So this is gonna be the end of this episode. I do want to say, okay, so we're not gonna have an episode for 2 weeks, but I am going to try to get all of the lore corners, cut them out of some of the other episodes and put them together in a in chronological order of us doing them and kind of present them as their own kind of episode. That way if people get Destiny for Christmas, or they find this podcast somehow and they want to be caught up on what we're talking about in the lore wise, they'll be caught up by the new year. So I'm going to try to have that done by New Year's. So yeah, that's kind of it. We're not going to have a new episode in the next 2 weeks. We'll be back the first full week of January. So I guess that would be the 7th live show, 8th podcast services. So I want to thank everybody for watching and or listening. I really appreciate, the show has kind of started as a pet project, and now it's kind of become a staple of what we do at Boss Rush. It's exciting to see. Honestly, Josh, I want to tell you, in 2 weeks, we've gone from just under 300 listeners to 557 listeners.
Jesus Christ.
In 3 weeks.
Wow. Congratulations, guys.
Jesus Christ.
We had a side talk yesterday, Josh. Mm-hmm. Well, not really a side talk, but we had a meet, the rest of the Boss Rush team kind of had a meeting about what we kind of wanted to achieve in 2021. And I asked you if you wanted to be a part of the meeting, and you had family stuff to do and whatever, but between this and Arsenal X, I just want to say that you've been like an integral part of the growth of both of those shows. And between Nerd Journalist and Colonel Panic being on this show, like interchangeably or together, or when we need a third chair,
they're usually a package deal.
Don't lump me in with that degenerate. Okay.
He's probably off making little tiny Master Chief helmets for his penis. I don't know.
Listen, I just want to say thank you guys for letting me be on several times throughout this year. Anytime you guys need anyone to jump on, feel free to send me a message. Anybody who's picking up Destiny for the first time, please tune in to this podcast right here. These two guys are extremely knowledgeable and just great people. They care about Destiny. They love it. And I think we're going to have a great year next year of talk about Destiny specifically.
Yeah. I think we are too. I mean, Kwai Corey said this kind of started out as a little pet project. It was a transitional period for me over the summer. I was kind of need something to occupy my mind a little bit. And Corey tweeted out, he was like, I'm going to start up a Destiny show. He's like, I really want to do Tower Casuals. Like, that's a great name. And I was like, dude, if you do that with that name, I'll join you. I think that's hilarious. I like that. I like the idea of just, a couple guys kicking back, having some friends on, and just talking about Destiny, having a drink, just talking, hanging out, like what's going on. Like, hey, some episodes are only gonna be 30 minutes. Other times we're gonna have like 2.5 hours because we're just goofing off and having fun with everybody. And I guess especially with the delay in Season of Arrivals, I think it got both of us a little bit more comfortable with how to cover an evolving game on a week-to-week basis. Like, I would sit there and I stopped planning shows because I would plan out a show and then, oh my god, here's like a 5-page TWAB with all these notes and all these updates coming out that we need to be able to talk about, and that's going to take the bulk of our show. So
I think the big change too is when we moved the show from Mondays to Thursdays. I think was a big change for us too.
We've been talking about it. It was hard to do a show on Mondays and then put it out on like Tuesday or Wednesday. And by then, like, the TWAB's already been out for a week. It was irrelevant. Like, even Lore Corner started out as a joke.
Mm-hmm.
I just, like, off the cusp of my head one night, I was like, oh, okay, guys, okay, we're gonna pump the brakes. We're gonna talk about how this fits into the story. And it just, like, instead of it becoming a running joke, it just became, a natural segment. I love that. I love explaining. I'm no Bife, but I like explaining where I can. Like, I still have to watch Bife to understand some of what's going on when it's brand new.
Yeah,
but. Things like this, like we were talking about the accessibility of the lore. Like, I had the lore book literally pulled up on my screen in games since I'm hanging out in Orbit, like, so that I could sit here and read it. Like, that makes it easier to read direct passages from. And people who have listened have told us time and time again what you like and what you don't like. Like, the one thing we keep coming back to is keep doing Lore Corner. Like, that's really fun. Keep doing that. Like, it's all about making the story better and more digestible for everybody. So yeah, going into 2021, I hope that the friendships that we've made this year, the partnerships we've made, like we just keep going forward. We keep continuing to grow. Everyone keeps tuning in. Like this isn't just a little side project anymore. This is something I look forward to every week, even though I often forget when it's Thursday. My sense of time has been completely thrown off this year. So 2 weeks in a row now, I have forgotten it's Thursday until Corey messages me. He's like, dude, I can't wait for tonight. And I have to go like, it's not, oh shit, it's Thursday. Like I definitely went through all day today until like 3 p.m. thinking it was Wednesday, not Thursday. I would be like, what are you talking about? Like, dude, we don't have to show till tomorrow night, which the same thing I thought last week. So in 2021, I resolved to, wear a watch.
Or a calendar on your face.
Yeah, I'm just going to walk around with a calendar on me. So be like, let me consult my schedule so I can just look down at it.
We need to get Josh an assistant, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hearing. Siri ain't cutting it. I'm kidding, Siri. I love you. Please don't kill me when the machines take
Tower
over.
Casual stretch goal assistance for everyone.